Video tutorial looks at the mathematical strand of data representation and interpretation, and more specifically we're going to talk a little bit about data collection. Okay, the first thing we need to know when we're looking at data collection is what a target population is. So essentially this is a group of things or people that you're interested in finding information about. And here's a bit of an example of a potential method you could use to conduct a stats investigation. So when you're looking at conducting a statistical investigation, one of the first things you need to decide to collect your data is, are you going to conduct a census or just simply a sample? If you're not sure what the difference is, a census basically involves collecting data about every individual in the target population that you're looking at, whereas a sample involves collecting data about part of that target population only. So you don't need to get information from everything or everyone. So for example, if you wanted to know the favourite sports of a cohort of students, you could ask all the students, and that would be the census because it's the whole group. Or you could simply ask a group of students, and that would be a sample. What you'll find probably is that if the target population that you're looking at is very large, you're more likely to use a sample. But if the target population is quite small, then you would use a census. If you decide that you are going to conduct a sample in your statistical investigation, it's extremely important to make sure that two things happen. One is that the sample isn't biased, and the other is that your sample is actually a big enough size to represent the whole target population. So I guess, for example, if you wanted to know the favourite sport of the cohort, like we've just said, it'd be biased to only ask tall, fast male students, okay, because they probably wouldn't give you an accurate representation of the entire cohort's thoughts of a favourite sport. Again, it's also important that the sample size is big enough. So for example, let's say that your cohort has 100 students. If you only asked 5 students what their favourite sport was, well, the sample wouldn't be big enough, so therefore that would be biased as well, and you wouldn't get an accurate representation of what the cohort thought. Okay, we're going to have a go at a practice question here, and you simply need to be able to decide whether you would use a sample or a census to collect information for the following target populations. Please feel free to pause the video here, have a go at the questions. When you think you have got the right answers, continue the video, and we'll see how you went. Okay, so let's see how you went. Essentially, we need to decide if it's a sample or a census. The first one is the number of Australians who are concerned about global warming. Well, Australia has a lot of people. So in this particular case, we're going to do a sample, because if we tried to get information from every single Australian, it will take a very, very long time. The second example is the height of students in a single class. Now, a single class probably has a maximum of around about 30 students, maybe a little bit more. That's not a very big population, so we can do a census for that. And the last one, the reliability, I apologise, of Adelaide's public transport system. Again, Adelaide's population is well over 1 million. It's going to take a long time to survey everybody, so we would use a sample for this example as well.